आप कनेक्ट नहीं कर रहे हो ना इंसान की बातों से, then there is no
Right.
fun. And that's what
This is
primarily,
more of a conversation. I like
yeah,
to say this very, very honestly. This
exact,
is a conversation
हाँ, and that's the
as compared
reason
to an
that,
interview where you have to
हाँ,
answer things.
I. Hey Siddharth, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a sheer pleasure and honor for me to be on Binge Buddies. Thank you so much for having me on. Yeah.
Let me just dive right into this. If my research is correct, you have participated in the debate competition at international level. You have also represented India
Okay.
in a golf tournament in South Africa, a youth golf tournament in South Africa. And you were also the captain of cultural activities, the golf team, and the debate team in your school.
So firstly, I've taken a back. I mean, I okay, these are things which I know about myself, but then these are the things like okay, everybody's into acting, so they'll always bring up questions next to acting and stuff like that. So this is the first time people are like, oh, so you did this as well in life. So yeah, whatever you said is true about me. Is true. I don't know where you found that up, but that's some solid research you got. Yeah, Sara, I must say that. But I went to this boarding school in Ajmer called Mayo College. My dad also went there. I was the second generation there. That's primarily because I wanted to do so many things in life that I wanted to go ahead and play golf, I wanted to debate, I wanted to do MUN, I wanted to play other sports, football, hockey, cricket. I was more of an all-rounder. And, being in Delhi, I personally felt there was so much of time being spent on commutation. And that's what my mom also felt, that you had to go ahead and be on the roads for 3 to 4 hours. You don't really have time for yourself to go ahead and do things then. And I was touched with lucky that I was fortunate enough to go to a school like that where I could do everything. I was acting, I was debating, I was playing golf, I was doing whatever I wanted to, and that was all because of everything there being there in the same vicinity. And talking of debating, I really used to love debating. Yeah, I really enjoyed debating. It used to give me some sense of pleasure. Argumentation in general is so good in life. Even when you're acting, like there needs to be some conflict within you to go ahead and understand the actualities as to why that is something like that.
You were also actively, as you were captain, I'm definitely sure you were doing a lot of cultural activities, which is then including to drama and etc. So is that your beginning of love for acting?
This is like 15, 16 years later you're talking about. My love for acting hails down. I'll tell you, I have these memories of me being, I'd say, 3 years old, 4 years old, and coming back from school every day and performing. That scene in Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum where Shah Rukh Khan comes back and Jayaji is holding that thali. So I perform that every day meticulously. Right after school, when I used to be coming back from school, I'd get down from the van and climbing up the stairs, going to my house. I'd expect my mom to hold the thali and be like Jayaji, and I used to be running up the stairs and I used to be like, this is my moment. And every day I'd come back and that thali wala aarti she'd do and she'd be like, okay, you're home. I was like, a Bollywood kid, you can say so. And then I started doing theater when I was, I'd say, 4 or 5 years old. And there used to be these shows in LTG and Kamani in Delhi. The Delhi theater circuit is pretty famous for Mandi House. So all these theaters in Mandi House, LTG, Kamani, Akshara, Sriram Center, are where hardcore theater happens.
That's nice. So you have done a lot of ads. What I got from my research is you doing advertisement for Coca-Cola, BMW, Happy Dent, Oyo, many more. So when I saw Siddharth Shaw for the first time was directly in Love Aaj Kal, which is the 2020 version, and then
Yeah.
a bit in Paatal Lok, the series. How was that whole journey like?
Okay, so sort of there's this fragment after doing theater. I joined theater repertories. Repertories are theater groups which go ahead and pay you to perform, and you get a certain remuneration for doing those shows. So while I was in my college in Delhi, I opted not to go ahead for college theater because that would give me just college certificates. And if I wanted to do this professionally, I thought I should get into it professionally. And there was this very good friend of mine in one of those theater repertories, and he introduced me to this vast world of casting. And I hadn't known that there was something known as casting until in 2018 when this friend of mine, Sachin from Atelier Repertory, he told me that he sent me some screenshots on my phone and he's like, Siddharth, now you've been doing theater for so many years, why don't you go ahead and give it a shot in these ads? Like there's so many commercials being made, and Delhi has a lot of commercial work, like a lot of digital advertisements are made, not that many TVCs. Then I used to send my pictures, and I was doing theater, so I used to send my show links, like clippings out of the show. And they'd see that, and ऐसे करते करते मेरे को मेरा पहला gig मिला in 2018. It was a funny video, comic video for WTF station, now called All Right. And then I started doing ads. And once you met somebody and they have a good experience of working with you, I personally believe that they will always recommend you to someone, or they would always call you back if you're needed in any other ad. So that way, I was just very lucky to go ahead and get work like that. So I saw a post on MCCC's Facebook page where they are taking open introduction. So I just went in, I gave my introduction. So I had seen Mukesh sir's story on Instagram that he's come to Habitat Center now and he's meeting everybody. I went there. Now, there are a couple of thousands of people there who have come to, give their introduction, come to audition. And I just park my car. And as luck would have it, मैं parking से ऊपर आ रहा हूँ. I see him because I'd seen him in the morning. What hoodie he was wearing. I see him, I recognize him because of the same hoodie. I'm like, oh, hello sir, I'm Siddharth Shaw. मैंने तो intro दे दिया था, मैं तो सिर्फ आपसे मिलने आया था. I'm so sorry to bother you. But आपसे मिल लिया तो मुझे लग रहा है अब हो गया मेरा काम. Thank you so much sir. And I was leaving. He also met me nicely. Then he said, अच्छा तू रुक जा. I'm like, sir नहीं मैंने introduction दे दिया है. वो साकेत में हो रहा था, मैंने दे दिया है. अब तो क्या मतलब मैं आपसे मिलने आया था, आपसे मिल लिया. Then he goes like, नहीं तू ऑडिशन देना आज 3 बजे, रुक जा ऑडिशन देके जाना. मैं बोला यार ये तो बहुत बढ़िया है, मेरे को ऑडिशन देने को मिल रहा है. मुकेश छाबड़ा sir is telling me that रुक जा ऑडिशन देना है. Then I stayed back, and then Imtiaz sir walks in, and I'm like, dude, what is happening? Like what this? I'm here. I was supposed to audition for something. I don't know what I'm auditioning for. And all of a sudden, Imtiaz sir walks in at 6 p.m. and he's like, okay, we're making this film and we'll try to work with each and every one of you. And the thousands of people by the time they shortlisted screen, and the 200 log bache hain, and then they're like, we'll take another round of introductions and then we'll call you if you want to audition. I auditioned and then I forgot about it because audition to ab roz dete ho. And then 5-6 days later I get a call. So Saurabh sir from Mukesh Abra casting company calls me. बोलते congratulations, वो जो आपने ऑडिशन दिया था ना वो कार्तिक आर्यन के बेस्ट फ्रेंड के लिए, आपको वो मिल गया है रोल और अब आपको प्रोडक्शन से कॉल आएगा and they'll do the budget and all, but you've been selected. And I'm like, I'm dead silent. And then Saurabh sir goes like, आपकी हवाइयाँ उड़ गई क्या? No, हाँ sir. And then the next thing I know, from my bedroom, I have come to my drawing room. I don't know how my parents were going for something, so they had left. And I'm like, I couldn't believe what was happening with me. यार मतलब ये क्या हो गया? मतलब you auditioned every day of your life, and this is something which you've always wanted to do. Yeah, I that's how I got the gig.
Thank you for sharing that. From your point of view, how real is the struggle for an individual who is starting from scratch?
So every line of work has its own tendencies and has its own difficulties as in when you get into them, and there is a struggle involved. But having said that, when it comes to our line of work, where people think that it is such a closed door work where people are actually not open to going ahead and casting others, that is where I'd say people are somewhere misled. See, मैं तो कोई film background से आता नहीं हूँ, मुझे तो मिली ना picture, फिर उसके बाद picture और भी मिली, तो ऐसा तो नहीं है. और मेरे जैसे सिर्फ मैं नहीं हूँ, मेरे जैसे कितने सारे लोग हैं who have been there much before I have entered and who are now entering. If you think that there is some mantle in you and some core in you which you can go ahead and put in front of others, then I think we are very lucky to be in this phase of casting, where there is casting. There is a whole process to get into the films. There is a whole process to get into these web series, to get into commercials. It's not that, oh, okay, you are XYZ son, so okay, I'll come ahead and I'll directly shoot you. ऐसे भी नहीं होता है. So to be very honest, I personally believe that with casting being involved, there is a clarity for sure. There is a clear procedure for you to go ahead and write mails, send your pictures, send your work links, and then test for something. Sure. And we are very lucky to be in today's times of OTT. You are BingeBuddies. There's so much content being created on the online segment that इतना काम है आजकल मार्केट में. पहले सिर्फ फिल्म है, टीवी है या फिर ads है.
It's good to have that reality check, and I'm sure people who are watching this and aspiring actors definitely realize that it's not a piece of cake. It's you need to firstly be very talented. You need to fit the role. I was speaking with Shiba Ji and Shiva Chadda, and she towards the end mentioned one thing which will remain with me, because it's not always about you doing your 100%. Sometimes it's also about what the director or the writer has envisioned for that scene, for that character, and if that doesn't match, you might not be selected. You don't have to take it personally. So you need to take it with a pinch of salt. Things don't work out, and it's fine. You just keep trying at it. So thank you.
Acceptance and rejections is a part and parcel of being here. Like you have to go through that every day. Till date, I do. But I had the privilege of meeting Raju sir for an interview in 2015, and Rajkumar Rani sir, he said that, you know, if you want to become an actor, passion is one thing, and you need to have passion to, of course, go ahead and do this. But with passion, you also need obsession. You need to be crazily, madly in love with this line of work to wake up every morning. And this combination of passion and obsession is what drives you through to go ahead and do this every day, knowing that, okay, tomorrow morning you have to get up and get back to the whole process again.
Very well put by Raju sir in that case. It's a very nice combo to have together, and it also, I think, then creates that resilience that you will get up, you will fight till you succeed. Exactly.
Precisely.
That's absolutely correct.
That's something which stuck with me, and that's something which I also preach now to others to go ahead, and if you want to do this, this is something you need to do like every morning, and that is something you can't feed in yourself. वो अंदर से आता है.
Yeah, definitely. So, you played the character of a school friend of Siddharth Chaudhary, who played Hathiram Chaudhary's son in Paatal Lok. So, I have two questions. First, how did you land up that project, that part in Paatal Lok?
Okay.
And your character. Second is, your character is a school friend who is kind of bullying that kid and trying to tease him in his regular day at school. Did you need to prepare? There was some instructions given that you need to be certain, this is what we are expecting, or it was purely some reference, or it was purely your character imagination which you brought on screen?
So I would first say that all the credit goes to Casting Bay, Anmol sir and Abhishek sir. Nikita had come down from Casting Bay to Delhi. They were looking for actors from Delhi to go ahead and be casted. This was first called Jamuna Par. Then it was termed Paatal Lok. And they were looking for actors from Delhi to play parts. I shot for this, in fact, way before I got the film also. This was done in 2018. So I did this, and it was because of Casting Bay where I auditioned, and I got this gig. So Avinash was a DOP, and he was directing Paatal Lok for sure. And he had come up, and he briefed us, and he just told us what zone are we in and how are we, like there's different stages also to a scene. And then we had some fighting sequences also. So that was pretty interesting. Like I had never done a fighting sequence, an action sequence.
The beauty of a good show, because the moment show resonates with the audience starts looking for those small nuances which the story and characters produce. Imagine your character not being the bully to Hathiram's son, and then he would have never been that retaliation, getting a gun, trying to fight, and taking those decisions on his own. So every character played a very important part, and that's what I say, with good series, even character with 2 minutes screen time plays an amazing role, because it helps the story grow, the character grow, the others, if not himself or herself.
Of course. So there is this blessing with OTTs and the web series nowadays that every character is so well defined, you know, that it has an essence to the whole story and the whole bigger picture at large. Because everything leads down to something, because there is so much space and time involved now. That 3 hours feature is now being extended to 9 hours, 10 hours, 18 hours in series. So you have that bandwidth to go ahead and let things out. Everybody has a graph there. It adds to something down the line. It's superb that yes, it was a hit. Everybody liked it, but the way it was written precisely is something which pulled it off, man. I really loved it. So yeah, I was lucky enough to be a part of the project.
Going to you doing the movie Love Aaj Kal, even though sadly it did not do well. How was the experience working with the great Imtiaz Ali? Like, how is he behind the camera, in person, instructing, sharing his perspective?
Imtiaz sir is a person who anybody would fall in love with. Yeah, I mean, There are certain people who you can just be around and learn so much just being around them, where they're not intentionally trying to inculcate something on you or trying to go ahead and be those guys, but you just, in that aura and in that presence of being with someone, you just pick things on yourself. And that is something what Sir is. I'll tell you this incidents. I have never forgotten lines on stage. Like, classics have those long monologues, the solid keys and stuff like that. They have those long monologues they have to give. They're classics, right? And I have never forgotten a single line in my entire life. Like 15 years, 20 years I've done theater, I haven't forgotten, yeah. And he looks into me, and like he looks into my eyes, and he's like, okay, ek baar karte hain ye wala scene. And he looks into my eyes, and then I'm like, I had everything. I have rehearsed. I know my sides, and I'm trying to like give it my best. And I was like, shit, I don't remember what to do. Then he understood. He's like, okay, take some time. We'll do this again. At the end of the day, when that ice broke now, and I started understanding what Sir was saying, that is when the magic started happening. And I started realizing, oh, this is so simple. You don't really have to do anything. I actually personally believe that acting is the art of doing actually nothing and just being there. Yeah.
I can't recall which one of his feature film making I was seeing, the behind the scenes when they launch it, release it later after the movie. There was one particular behind the scenes happening where he is talking to the lead actor, and he enacted the whole scene, which was eventually done in 5 to 6 minutes in one shot, one take scene. And then he did that whole twice for the actor to not just telling what to say, how to say, the body language, but also it was a moving scene. So he was actually walking down the whole set and showing that this is how it will be, camera will be here, and blah blah blah. And that is what shows the beauty of it, because he literally, most of his stories he actually has written himself. So he knows the story literally backwards, and he can from any point can explain your story and the character and what emotion this character is feeling at that point of the story. And that's the beauty of it. I felt like
I just like that, the first memory of being on set with Sir is that we were doing this, we were shooting for Shire, and there was the sequence that we have to get the scooter down, and we were doing tripling on the scooter. And I had to get the scooter down, and then Kartik comes down, and then he hops on, and then we exit for Lina's balcony. And so literally, this is the first time that I've been directed by Sir, and the first thing he does is, he's like, udhar jao. So, abhi aayega tu aise scooter ke upar baithna, and then you take it off, and then you come down, and then aise leke jana. He did it with us thrice. I mean, he was so meticulous with his scenes, like he knew them inside out, as you said, because he's written it, and he do it with you. So that would somewhat give you some sort of confidence before you go into a scene with an actor, co-actor, and doing it with Sir beforehand gives some confidence to you to be like, okay, now I know what's happening with me. I'm in my own space. He has put in you in those shoes to go ahead and perform there.
When a director like Imtiaz sir does that, shows you it's not he's enacting to make your life easy, but maybe, and personally I feel that point of reference helps the particular actor to feel the emotion very correctly. And that is what I feel the magic of Imtiaz Ali's movies are. Throughout the film, you will be connected emotionally. You know the feel of the character, and that is what I really love about his style of filming. That's the beauty of it for me personally.
Because he is so personally involved in every scene. Like अगर कोई पीछे फीचर कास्ट में ठेला भी लेके जा रहा है ना, तो सर वो ठेले वाले को भी जाके दिखाएंगे, ठेला लेके जाएंगे वो उसका और बताएंगे आपको ऐसे जाना है. So he's so personally involved in the whole process that the beauty of it shows.
I mean, Imtiaz is Imtiaz after all, so very excited.
I sincerely love him.
How about Kartik Aaryan, your experience? Kartik Aaryan was already doing quite well. He did a couple of hits already. Sara Ali Khan coming from two good movies back to back. So how was that working with them in general?
So with Baba, I call Kartik sir Baba out of love and respect. So with Baba, the thing is that he was like beyond phenomenal. Yeah, he'd take up my lines like after sir's directed and stuff. He'd take up my lines before we'd get into the shot, and he'd be like, "एक बार ना मैं तेरा करता हूँ, तू मेरा कर, and let's see how it happens." It's like okay. So every time he would take up my lines and he'd say, "ये ऐसे क्यों? ऐसे try करके बोल के देख, ऐसे बोल के देख," and he'd always like, you know, provide an umbrella for you because you being so new and not understanding how things are. कभी ऐसा फील नहीं होने दिया मेरे को कि अच्छा हाँ ठीक है यार अभी मैं ऐसा स्टार हूँ तो फिर ऐसा ऐसा होगा या फिर मैं अपना एक्टर हूँ तो सीधे मैं आके अपनी लाइंस दूंगा stuff like. So yeah, that way he was really helpful to me. Until date he has been. Like I really have a lot of regard for him. And as of Sara, I've only met her twice, like thrice. I haven't shot with her really, so I don't know her that well. And you know, there's something which I'd like to point out. Like, it took me time to realize this. You know, Baba and all, they'd like snap into a scene and be all serious, and they would be kidding, right? Like a minute before, they'd be laughing their ass out and ekdam se serious. And that is something which I was like, यार ये कैसे कर लेते हैं यार, मतलब अभी तो मतलब इतना सीरियस ही चल रहा है, एकदम से हंस रहे हो, हंसी मजाक चल रहा है कटोरे पे.
Good. Thank you for sharing that. Let's have a quick fun game with you.
Oh, all right.
Right,
I saw that. The BingeBuddies, what do you call it? 7 seconds.
Yes, there you go. So
see, I've also done my research. It's not only you that who's done the research. Huh? I have also done my research. So fair enough.
Let's see.
Yeah.
It's going to be simple, straightforward questions. Whatever comes to your mind. No pressure. Any 3 directors you're dying to work with?
So, Rajkumar Hirani sir, A. B. Karan Johar sir. I really, really want to be in a Dharma film. I've grown up watching Dharma films and I really, really want to work in one. And third is Aaryan Mukherjee sir.
3 top favorite movies, all-time favorite.
Oh, so I really love Ye Jawani Hai Diwani. Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, because as I said, I'm like a huge Bollywood buff. And I really loved Catch Me If You Can, to be very honest.
Your top 3 TV/web shows you really enjoyed?
So Mirzapur, I really love Mirzapur. Yeah, Dark and Freud. Freud is something which I really liked as well. It's really deep.
Perfect. Moving on, your top 3 favorite holiday destinations.
So I really, really love London. I don't know why people don't like it. They say that the UK is gloomy and the people are there dull. I don't know. I love it. So yeah, I love London. Then I had a great time in I'd say Sri Lanka and Bali. Both of them were like really chill places where you can just go and be by yourself.
Moving on, 3 things you can't live without. Now this doesn't include people.
A being acting. Like I really, really, really love doing what I'm doing. So I think I can't live without my hair. I really love my hair a lot. Like I genuinely love them a lot. So for entertainment, I need a device where I can see things. That is the third.
Can you tell us the 3 things you learned during the whole lockdown period?
So the first thing which I learned was that family is really important. I had learned that, you know, at the end of the day, you have all these good clothes, solid cars, solid watches, crazy, as you know, nowadays sneakers are really in. So you have these crazy sneakers. जब लॉकडाउन हुआ तो मैंने सोचा यार कि पहन के जाऊंगा कहाँ, मैं घर पे पहन के तैयार होके ऐसे बैठ के मैं क्या करूंगा. But having said that, I think being materialistic isn't that great, and you don't. I think you should. Some मोह माया भी, ऐसा भी नहीं सब मोह माया हो जाए, but you should only have what you need is something which I've realized in the pandemic. And thirdly, I've realized that it is very important to stay in touch with your art in whatever work you're doing in life.
3 things you would like people to know about you.
So I love myself a lot. I talk a lot, and lastly, I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. Yeah.
So, are there any projects you're involved in which you can tell us about? Where can we see you next?
So I have shot for another feature film. I am under an NDA with them, so I can't really say much. But they have announced the title of the film, so I can say that. And that is Unfair and Lovely, and it has been produced by Sony Films and Movie Tunnel Productions.
Glad to hear. I've definitely heard about Unfair and Lovely, the title announcement, so that's good. Now I have one more reason to be extra excited to look for teaser and trailer coming out. That's amazing. So many congratulations for that, firstly, and
thank you so very much.
Wish you all the very best, and thank you so much for taking out the time to chat with us this evening.
Thank you so much, Saurabh, and I'd like to personally give my regards to you and Sara for doing this, and you guys are doing a superb and a fantastic job, and I'd say that you have really picked on something which is going to grow in the near future, because binging is the way in, and BingeBuddies will bring you to the binging, And I am really thankful to the both of you for doing this. And I wish you all the very best. And do like, share, and subscribe to Binge Buddies if you like this.
Thank you so much. It was pleasure having you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, hope we have a solid time.
Bye.
Cheers.